If you've ever been to your doctor and told them something felt off, maybe some issues with word recall or constantly hitting a wall of fog by midday or being unable to focus during an important meeting, they probably end up running some diagnostic labs, and then your results come back with normal and optimal ranges. Here's what you should know. Only 6.8% of the doctors trained to treat menopause symptoms felt adequately prepared to do it. That's not my number. That's from their own training directors in a national survey. 1 in 5 OB-GYN residents received 0 menopause lectures. Can you believe that? So when Halle Berry stood up at the New York Times DealBook Summit in December and called out a governor over a menopause bill, everyone covered the insurance angle. Nobody covered the other part. The part that says your doctor isn't withholding information. They literally never got it. That's what her fight is actually about. And it's why your brain fog still doesn't have a good answer. If you have a friend, a sister, a partner, anyone in their 40s and 50s who's been told their labs are fine, but something still feels off, send them this video, because what I'm about to show you should have been in every women's health article published this month, and it wasn't. Now, if you're skeptical, good. You should be. I'm a naturopathic physician, and I know that's not who most people expect to be bringing the receipts on this. So let me just show you the data. It came out last month, and it's from Cambridge. Think of estrogen as the maintenance crew for your brain. Every night while you sleep, estrogen sends signals that reduce inflammation, keep neurons firing efficiently, and help your hippocampus consolidate everything you learned that day. The hippocampus is your brain's RAM. It holds what you just said, the name of the person you just met, the word you're reaching for mid-sentence. So when estrogen starts dropping during perimenopause, which can start 4 to 6 years before menopause itself, that maintenance crew goes home early. The building doesn't just fall down, but the lights start flickering. The elevator runs slow in exactly the rooms you need most for your work. And look, I know that sounds like a metaphor, and it is, but here's the MRI data that goes with it. In January 2026, Cambridge University published a study of 125,000 women. Around 11,000 of them had brain scans. What they found was measurable gray matter loss in the hippocampus, the cortex, and the frontal and temporal regions, the exact areas that govern memory, word retrieval, and executive function. And the changes weren't explained by age. They controlled for that. It's not aging, it's the menopausal transition itself. That's the first thing worth knowing. Your brain fog has a visible, measurable mechanism. And here's the part that stopped me cold. The California bill Halle Berry backed, the one Gavin Newsom vetoed twice, wasn't just about insurance coverage. It also required doctors to complete menopause-specific continuing education. That half never made the news because it's the embarrassing half. It's the part that says your OB-GYN may have gone through their entire residency without a single standardized class on what's happening to your brain right now. A national survey of residency program directors published in the Journal of Menopause found that only 31.3% of programs had any menopause curriculum at all. Program directors rated satisfaction with their own training at 3.75 out of 10, and 58% of medical textbooks worldwide, the books doctors actually studied, had no reference to menopause whatsoever. Can you believe that? This isn't a conspiracy. The villain here isn't your doctor. The villain is decades-old curriculum gap that the medical establishment is only now admitting exists. Your doctor isn't behind on the science. The science was never taught. Now, here's where it gets interesting, and this is the part I want you to take away from today. Most women who describe brain fog to their doctor get told it's depression, anxiety, or stress. And there's a reason for that. When estrogen drops, the brain's capacity to buffer cortisol, your stress hormone, drops with it. So you feel more anxious. You sleep worse. You present in the doctor's office looking like someone who needs an antidepressant. And that's what gets prescribed because cognitive symptoms aren't on the standard intake form. The antidepressant may help the mood symptoms, but it doesn't touch the gray matter mechanism. And here's where I need to flag something directly, because you may have been told HRT solves this, hormone replacement therapy. And I want to be careful here. Hormone replacement therapy, HRT, helps with a lot of menopause symptoms. And I'm not saying women should stop taking it. What the Cambridge study found is that HRT did not prevent the gray matter loss. Women on HRT showed similar brain structural changes to women who weren't on it. HRT slowed reaction time decline, that's real. But for the specific cognitive fog you're describing, the structural mechanism continues either way. So if you're on HRT and still foggy, you're not imagining it. And there's more to explore. So here's where I'd start. First, the free stuff. Inflammation is the shared mechanism. Estrogen suppresses neuroinflammation. So when it drops, inflammation in the brain rises. The most direct thing you can do this week is cut processed sugar and seed oils, both documented neuroinflammatory triggers. Add omega-3 fatty acids, DHA specifically. Studies in menopausal women show cognitive and emotional benefits at 2 grams daily. That's a conversation worth having with your clinician. Second, get the right labs. Most menopause panels only check standard hormone levels. What I'd also want to see in a patient with brain fog is free T3, thyroid, ferritin, vitamin D, and CRP for inflammation. Thyroid dysfunction and iron deficiency present identically to menopausal brain fog. They are frequently missed. Ask specifically for those four. Third, and this is where delivery matters more than most people realize, your gut acid destroys a significant portion of oral supplements before they ever reach your brain. That's not a fringe claim, that's basic pharmacokinetics. The olfactory pathway, nose to brain, bypasses that entirely. It delivers directly to the hippocampus and prefrontal regions we talked about. So if you want a practitioner who actually knows this space, look for someone with the MSCP designation, that's the Menopause Society Certified Practitioner credential. It means they voluntarily trained beyond what their residency covered. Only about 1 in 5 OB-GYNs in the US has that, and it matters. And here's where I'll be honest about what the research hasn't caught up to yet. We know estrogen is anti-inflammatory in the brain. We know when it drops, neuroinflammation rises. And we know HRT addresses the hormone, but not necessarily the inflammation. So what we don't have yet is a large clinical trial specifically testing whether targeting that inflammatory pathway directly through the olfactory delivery through anti-inflammatory nutrition can offset the gray matter changes during the transition window. And I can't prove that part yet. But after 25 years of seeing women in their 40s who were told everything was normal and watching what happened when we addressed the inflammation directly, here's what I think is happening. The estrogen and inflammatory systems are coupled. Treating just the hormone without addressing the neuroinflammation cascade is like treating half the problem. The brain wants both. That's just a theory I have grounded in years of practicing medicine. You were right to push back. You were right that normal labs wasn't a complete answer, and the largest menopause brain study ever done, 125,000 women, MRI brain scans, validated what you've been feeling. It's real, it's measurable, and there are specific things you can do about it. The best change is the one you'll actually make. So start with omega-3s and the right labs. That's free, and it's this week. And the delivery question, why most of what's out there doesn't actually reach the brain. That's what I dug into next. Pull up the video right here. I think it'll change how you think about everything you've already tried.